Remember. Blessed are the perfect in the way, who walk in his Torah every day. Blessed those who observe what he say, and seek him wholeheartedly. Yea, they do no unrighteous, they hold his command in a vice grip. Thank him with full uprightness of heart, cause your rules are righteous. Oh, how I guard your laws, I pray you don't withdraw. How can one right their wrongs without your word involved? I seek you with all of me, cause you're the supreme authority. Hiding your laws inside of me, overcoming the sin and pride of me. Oh, Yah, teach me your ways, I only speak to praise your name every single day. I rejoice of what you say, but yeah, I'm a stranger here. I see the danger here. My soul is broken from hoping for the day you change it here. You rebuke the proud and lawless, I wanna come before you flawless. I cleave to your word to avoid erring and take precautions. Yahuwah quicken me, Yahusha strengthen me. I don't have anything without you, please remember we. Understanding God, your law with all my heart. Perfect your set apart. Your word is razor sharp. Please turn back your reproach and let your kindness approach. You've covered me like a coat. Your word is food in my throat. Yeah, they reject your laws and loathe at your right rules, but your word is my lamp and the light for my shoes. Please accept this offering of praise and teach me all of your ways. All these snares that they've laid, I won't stray cause your word is saves. I testify, I stand to live out your commands. Held captive in this land, I'm a bird in your hand. This place got my soul hurting, there's so much evil lurking. I see the signs of the times, I just pray you see your servant. Yeah, I have not stopped praying for all the ones you gave him, cause opening your word gives sight to the blind so they can hear what's playing. I speak intentionally, I see you reinventing me. My being lives to praise you, I thank you for just remembering me. Shama, exhaustively is to hear you, hearing with interest, hearkening to, listening to, attending to, learning, perceiving, discerning, following, fulfilling one's advice. It's time doing that. Shama Yashar'AL, open your ears and close your mouths to avoid the falsehood. Listen, perceive only him now. Remove your distractions, your issues, and all these things that hinder. Shut down your Facebook, YouTube, TVs, your phones, your Twitter. Focus in here, perceive, understand so that it's clear. There's too much to hear, cause from old we've closed our ears. But who shall he teach knowledge and make him understand when all's too lazy to seek and rather depend on man? But if they stood in his counsel, it'd be all about his word. Then you would have discerned what it really means to turn, to know not what he said says, cause you're unable to hear, to Shama, to understand, and to perceive by ear, to notice, obtain, and gather, listen, discern, and ascertain, heed, and capture your interest about the matters, to turn backwards, to Shama his voice. But if you play and make believe, you'll be deceived and just get noise. Shama, most derivatives, is really hearing, and hearing with interest, understanding, and even listening. But hearing and understanding is pointless without belief. The trust, the reliance, and creeds where the rubber and road meet. So how can you Shama if you're not even comprehending? Without belief there's no fear, without fear there's no wisdom. If you truly believe in, then you tremble at his word and be concerned with what you heard. Not at ease, you be unnerved. So listen, listen, pay attention, pay attention. Give to him, heart, to him, perceive, him, cause the fact is, if you truly believed what you proclaimed, you would seek all your days and he would teach all his ways. You'd be scared to death, aware your air, your breath could cease in any sec, so you would not be deaf. Hear, perceive, discern, informed with great concern, cause no one comes to the sun unless they have heard and learned. So who is truly with him? Who's gathered, gleaned, and get wind? Who truly listens to his voice with comprehension? Who truly listens to his voice, to his witness? Or you waiting for the latest translation for you to get it? Return backsliding children, he shall rule you and see you, and then he'll give you shepherds and feed knowledge to you. But since that ain't happened yet, you should be asking, who you grasping? Who are you hearing? Is it his word or by his ration? The words of the wise are like sticks for driving cattle, given by one, and besides these there is none. So listen to him, pay attention to him, heed him, hearken, only him, perceive him, and hear him, adhere to him, Shama him, give ear to him, conform to him, perform all of his, and look only to him, regard his, and study all of his, and know all of his. Shama. You know who I call on? Who? You know who I call on? Who? You know who I call on? Yup, call his name, call on 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 his name. You know who I call on, the most awesome, who made us all, even after we fall and drop the ball, who gives it all. Call on his name, he is my Abba, he reigns supreme. He says the word in galaxies of birth, so infinite and superb, his ottoman is the earth. You need to fear, so you can hear. Make no mistake, he's so great, sin can't go near. So keep your distance if you continue sinning. Don't try to go against who always wins, whose arm extends, who's always been the ox, the strength, nothing like him. Gird up thy loins like a man, he will demand thee. The author of life, the author of understanding. Who shut up the seas, who put up with me, who stretched out the skies, who opens the eyes. Sing to Elohim, praises to his name, the creator of all things. Call on his name, call on his name, call on his name, call on his name, call on his name. Sing to Elohim, praise the highest king, and sing hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. You see, we need the lamp on my feet, the reason I could see, to God to thee. Call on his name, cause there is no other. Who commands the mornings, who commands the summers. He sends the lightning, loosens up the Orion. He hunts to pray for the lion and puts wisdom inside men. He mounts up the eagles and move mountains for people who love his commands and understand there's no equal. Because he is, sing praise to his name. By his name, who consecrates the strange. The heaven speaks his esteem, the creator of wondrous things, the king above all the kings, from the oceans to the ravines, is in all things. Perfection means the highest esteem, the mightiest being who's ever seen. His name alone reigns supreme. Now how we soaring on wings? My Elohim, sing to Elohim, praises to his name, the creator of all things. Call on his name, call on his name, call on his name, call on his name, call on his name. Sing to Elohim, praising the highest thing, and sing hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Sing to Elohim, praising the highest thing, and sing hallelujah, 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 hallelujah.
Man, you're hearing all the instruments. Man, you're hearing all the instruments. Man, you're hearing all the instruments. So I maintain my innocence. Man, I'm cleansing this. Man, you're hearing all the instruments. Man, you're hearing all the instruments. Man, you're hearing all the instruments. So I maintain my innocence.
Okay.
Man, I'm
Son of man, of your people, go and speak to those who listen. The curses come upon us, we scatter just as it's written. Shattered and battered, almost erased from existence. The discipline of the fathers only leaving the remnant. So I stand guard and watch the heathen to listening, cause their time's fulfilling and his return is imminent. So I'ma blow the horn to warn the guilty and the innocent. Those setting themselves apart, trying to make sense of it. Those hearing but not listening, man, it's just ridiculous. You standing there witnessing, it's not even inconspicuous. Thus the blood is on your own head instead of delivering. You're being from this depth, there's no way you can just live with this. Most the world sinning and the rest are hypocrites. They loving these conditions in this state of obliviousness. So I'ma blow the horn and clean my hands of the senselessness. Man, you're hearing all the instruments.
Man, you're hearing all the instruments. Man, you're hearing all the instruments. Man, you're hearing all the instruments. So I maintain my innocence. Man, I'm cleansing this. Man, you're hearing all the instruments. Man, you're hearing all the instruments. Man, you're hearing all the instruments. So I maintain my innocence.
Question.
Man, I'm cleansing this.
Why have if I'm wrong, should I perish in my iniquities? But if I turn from my evil, then my sins are forgiven me. This a no-brainer, but most here sinning intentionally. Cause ignorance is bliss, so they go on without missing a beat. No need to say truth to folks that couldn't see. This the worst captivity, cause most thinking they free. The world is upside down, it's all wrong. They look at me, they see the zeets and wonder what could it be? Or is it the beard, the reason that I am weird? The man with the trumpet supposed to be the one they hear. I bet you can't even get across to your own peers. They don't have eyes to see and no wisdom cause they don't fear. Open your eyes and be wise, see through the lie. Turn back from your evil ways, for why should you die? Yet you still say it's too hard to raise up YAHUAH. Nonetheless you heard the trumpets, you all heard the teruah.
Man, you're hearing all the instruments. Man, you're hearing all the instruments. Man, you're hearing all the instruments. So I maintain my innocence. Man, I'm prejudiced. Man, you're hearing all the instruments. Man, you're hearing all the instruments. Man, you're hearing all the instruments. So I maintain my innocence. Man, I'm prejudiced. Man, you're hearing all the instruments. Man, you're hearing all the instruments. Man, you're hearing all the instruments. So I maintain my innocence. Man, I'm prejudiced. Man, you're hearing all the instruments. Man, you're hearing all the instruments. Man, you're hearing all the instruments. So I maintain my innocence. Man, I'm prejudiced. Man, I'm prejudiced. Man, I'm prejudiced. Man, I'm prejudiced.
That we losing our minds, just cruising through time, seeing through blind eyes like we moving through the pines, not seeing true signs of the time zooms by. We doomed, why? Cause we live in our consumed lives with groomed lies, and we'll soon find that we enter in a tomb where we'll soon lie. The fact is, living in this world's like gasoline and matches. It's upside down, like it's doing gymnastics and backflips, and it's tragic. Cause I'm sick of seeing caskets all flat sitting half-staffed this, going to all of these masses like practice. This sadness, like I've been stabbed in the heart with a cactus. This is madness. We gotta get out of these habits. We gotta get out of our heads and gotta get people back grounded. Cause evil got us surrounded. This world is upside down, kid. This world is upside down. 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 So how is it that we can't see the truth? Or TV, internet would be just the name of few. Got our brain on glue, draining every single clue. We claim we knew when they taming you, cause they painted you and everything you knew, cause they claim it's true, but they explain to you what they aim to do. Got nonsense entertaining you, influencing everything you do, from what you eat to how you chew. Give you the flu and vaccine too, put the animals in zoos, and they use subliminal control. We just stand and get them dudes and tools to make the whole globe explode. And while you dazing, mumbling, families and places crumbling, tsunamis and quakes is rumbling, got me thinking what day is coming in. This world is It's looking bleak.
Why don't you tell us what you see?
Alright, man.
Tell us what you see.
Wow.
Tell us what you see.
Come on, tell me, man. All I see is self-destructive actions increasing. Morals are just depleting. No one's believing. Bold faiths retreating. It's like we in a rush to take the mark of the heathen. It's the fall of the season. Behind the world's leading. No one's interceding. Everything's misleading. Integrity's decreasing. Nothing's impeding. Wickedness from abounding. Evil here is astounding. People here are just frowning. No plans to turn around. These things that's going down. No parachutes are found. We falling right to the ground. I see the proud and poverty growing wild while the rich grow their accounts. The poor just living down with more than 2 billion persons claiming God is concerning. Cause the world is hurting, they ain't bearing each other's burden. They barely obey the word and cleverly change the word to appease each person. Now Sabbath days they working. I see people following other people, but that recipe's lethal cause the heart's desperately evil. I see people walking, living out of a coffin, directing their own steps, they in and out of the dark. Man, folks think they believe in without even reading. Pastors think they teaching without the scriptures to lead them. Not enduring sound doctrine, one of the devil's squadron. This unwitting coercion is an increasing problem. I see nations rising up against nations, pestilence and famine and signs in the constellations. The minds of the monster Satan control these politicians, they kill us of our intentions. Campaigns of contradictions. I see folks in this land putting their faith in man, hoping to elect someone to do it only Yah can. I see earthquakes, death tolls that's staggering high, dead fish in beach wells and birds falling out the sky. But why? Can't see what I see. I see you don't see what I see. I see if you see what I see. You see catastrophes is ending drastically. Obliviousness rising. People that refuse to open their eyes and take heed to the wise. I see these things unfold, these prophecies foretold. Iniquities abound cause love has waxed cold. I see these conceited, boastful, proud blasphemers, despisers of good, high-minded pleasure seekers. I see disasters all over the atlas. Folks trying to prove Yahuchanan wrong, serving 2 masters. Yeah, I can see a spirit, I could even feel it. I see these people that's wicked, they claiming they walking in it. Things fall apart with so many lost in the dark, appeasing to the flesh for the desires of the heart. The fruit of the spirit is long suffering, peace, love, and gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, and even temperance. Man, you're hearing all the instruments, so I maintain my innocence. Man, I'm cleansed this, thinking this is coincidence. There's way too many incidents. Common sense is genius, while faith suffers from impotence. I see the conqueror setting out on his horse. I see a great sword, but peace I see no more. I see the scales tipped, inflation runaway greedy, depraved entertainment on the radios and TV. I see tsunamis, eruptions, and record eclipses. Comet Siamese, these things are cataclysmic. I see priorities controlled by a minority, pollution and deforesting. These things ain't what they ought to be. I see policies written by criminal-minded. I see why narrows the way and only few people find it. I see why so many are blinded. They can't get past what they see with their eyes and try to see what's behind it. I see many believe, but don't really know what they believe, so they so easily deceived. A few measly degrees could change the dynamic of how we live or we eat. Life's an incredible feat. I see folks try to succeed without the Almighty. I see people come together amidst the catastrophe. They say seeing is believing. Well, I seen a nation born in the days, synagogues of demons, Yah chosen soul to heathens. Got all this technology at high speed and nobody's even reading. I see folks worshiping their own gods, but these things gon' happen whether they believe Yah or not. I see lives killed, suffering up to the children, man, the enemy has got skills, trying to make us impatient with Yah's will. I see a faith dependent on your situation, that's a deadly combination, leaving the door open for Satan. I see whole populations turn away from what is honest. I see the earth reeling from the transgressions upon it. I see deterioration of our society. Only difference from Rome is this a global atrocity. Our direction is disastrous. Even the sun attacks us. The earth is shifting on its axis. I'm starting to see his remnant. I'm starting to see what's really intended. I see how he will end it. I see many deceived and don't know where they're going. So when the Son of Man come back in the cloud, they won't even know what. You can't see what I see. I see you don't see what I see. I see if you see what I see. You see catastrophes is ending drastically. Cause you can't see what I see. I see you don't see what I see. I see if you see what I
See, you see catastrophes is ending drastically.
YAHUAH, I can't even imagine the way it feels looking at them, disregarding compassion, corrupting all of their actions. I can't even fathom being able to see the heart and all the evil inside your people amassing, knowing this sin is written with a pen of iron, cut with the point of a diamond on the book of their mind. Then I could see why this end has come to your inheritance, and you pour out your wrath on their pride and all their excellence. Their necks been stiff, not knowing what's righteousness, since you freed them from the grips of bondage. They've been desiring it when they wanted a sovereign like all the nations to rule them instead of you. I can't imagine your face then, because it's you they rejected. Until this day they put men in your place, not trusting you with their breath. It's very clear why you harden the hearts of fear, cause if they don't have it here, they can't love what they can't hear. So
what is love, and why does it wake us up, and why does it give us breath, and why does it shake us up? If true love would disregard what it was and give up on what it does, what would it take to love? Do we know love to even speak of its righteousness? Always thinking you finding it, just misidentifying it. Can we love if we don't grow, or love if we don't show? What is love, man?
YAHUAH, you said when we turn back to your hand, you will bring us from the lands to the land and we possess it again. But then you said, then you'll circumcise our hearts and the heart of our seed to love you, Elohim. So could that mean today we're not loving or even know what it means? Most won't consider such things. The painful truth is, how can we love you if we can barely do all that you tell us to? Because you said if you love, you will guard. In the absence of your law, love is cold and unthawed. I see why we should turn with all our hearts, cause the outward display is false and self-righteousness is the result. That's why you said tear your heart, not your garment. And since nothing's kadosh, we should be weeping and mourning. We should be seeing we feeble people incarnate. We cursed and we slaves, can't fathom what's come upon us. But if you love me, you'd want me to live. You care about what I did and even be interested. And if you love me, you see when I'm passionate about something and ask of it and even try to grasp it. But if I loved you, I'd tell you what was true and help you guard your path so you don't wander in troubles. And if I loved you, I'd show you where the life is. Even if you don't like it, my love would hope you might live.
What is love, and why does it wake us up, and why does it give us breath, and why does it shake us up? If true love would disregard what it was and give up on what it does, what would it take to love? Do we know love to even speak of its righteousness? Always thinking you finding it, just misidentifying it. Can we love if we don't grow, or love if we don't show? What is love? And we don't know. What is love, and why does it wake us up, and why does it give us breath, and why does it shake us up? If true love would disregard what it was and give up on what it does, what would it take to love? Do we know love to even speak of its righteousness? Always thinking you finding it, just misidentifying it. Can we love if we don't grow, or love if we don't show? What is love? Man, we don't know. We don't know.
what is love? What really matters to you? Is it what is true? Honestly, really? Because considering Dabarim 28, 1-68, how are we not awake? How do we still not obey? What matters to this people is opposite what we need to. Why we do learn their ways, why we learn how to be equal. From birth we start straying, injecting abominations in our babies. It's crazy how sin so accommodating. Please consider Chazun 18:23. You've led the world astray with your drug sorcery. That word from the Greek is where we get pharmacy, but that ain't what matters to you, cause you were all asleep. It's not important to think if it questions your beliefs, even if it means you could burn for all the things. So what matters to these is what he could do for them. You must be all deceived thinking he's some ATM. And what matters to people is chasing after them things and lusting after esteem, not seeing what it all means. You perishing in debt to them for the legal tender, cause the rich rule the poor and the lendees are slave to the lender. Yet still what matters is not that you're captives, but that your mattress is donned in the finest fabrics, or that your cat gets the fanciest feast imagine, or stabbing your way to the top, losing yourself for status. If what matters is titles and stacking useless idols, it could cost you your ears, your sight, your life, and afterlife too.
What matters to you? Is it the truth? What kind of fruit do you produce? What matters to you all? Is it the law? If you love, do you guard? What matters to you? Is it being kadosh and walking in what is true? What matters the most? Who's ruling you folks? Is it Yahuwah Sabaoth?
What matters more than anything that we can do on earth is applying his word. It is our life, it is our birth, it is our right, it is our worth, it is our sight, it is our perks, it is our flight, it is our word, it is our might, it is our nerve. But more than that, it's the way we trust him, the way we show we love him, and put nothing above him. What it means to be born again is you don't conform to men. Instead, you just conform to him, fearing his arm and strength. What matters these days is doing his ways and pray he removes the stumbling blocks so we don't stray. What matters is returning, that being all we yearning, and seeking his face and getting out before it's burning. Look and see if you barely carrying your stake daily, not guarding his word, or things just smooth sailing. His mark on you tell me Yahuwah Sabaoth tries to harden the kidneys. I bear witness to this thing really. What matters is his name, his esteem. Forget about them things and them dreams. Shamut 9:16. What matters to you people? Doing right in your sight or doing right in his sight? You living just for the night, but you drifting, existing far from the light. Awake and strengthen. Consider what matters after you die. Tell me,
what matters to you? Is it the truth? What kind of fruit do you produce? What matters to you all? Is it the law? If you love, do you guard? What matters to you? Is it being kadosh and walking in what is true? What matters the most? Who's ruling you folks? Is it Yahuwah Sabaoth? What matters to you? Is it the truth? What kind of fruit do you produce? What matters to you all? Is it the law? If you love, do you guard? What matters to you? Is it being kadosh and walking in what is true? What matters the most? Who's ruling you folks? Is it Yahuwah Sabaoth? What matters to you? What matters to you?
Therefore, Yahuwah Elohim Sabaoth says this: there is a wail in all open squares and in all streets. They say, alas, alas, and they shall call the farmer to mourning, and the skilled lamenters to wailing. In all the vineyards there is wailing, for I passed through your midst, said Yahuwah. Woe to you who are longing for the day of Yahuwah. What does the day of Yahuwah mean to you?
It is darkness, not light.
What you screaming alas for? Why you not running for the back door? Why you not scared for your life to reply at the sight? What you think he coming back for? Why you longing for his day? day, it is gloom, it is gray. What's it to you anyway, since you don't obey? You longing for his moment, but you don't have atonement, because he smeared your eyes for all the evil that you ownin'. Besides, his day is dark, like when a man flees a lion and the bear's there to take him apart. Not quite the day in the park. All of you sinning, pretending that you were with him. Your lies won't make a difference, he sees all the dead and living. Besides, his days like when a man flees to his house and rests his hand upon a wall and the serpent there takes him out. He has despised your festivals and lies, your assemblies and lives, thus his days when you die. So tell me why you've been waiting all of your life, steady hating all that is right. What's his day that y'all lack in sight? To you hypocrites, shutting the rain up with your lips. Since you won't enter it, you laid a snare to hinder kids. Now everyone's a teaching. Any fool with a YouTube has a platform for them to speak in. They just scattering sheeping, telling them all their dreams, and it's not according to knowledge, it's only for their esteeming. Guess who gave it to these men? Yet they still steady screaming. The day of Yahuwah, meanwhile these people still ain't even holding fast to the least. And why long for his day when you don't see that you stray? And his day is dark, it's mayhem for those that don't obey him. Or you complacent asleep, not really seeking, letting the blind lead him, cause it's easier to believe men. Be careful of the sharks that change the fear of Yahuwah to a command of the men that's taught. Look at the fruit of their thoughts, cause see his day is dark, the absence of light. So what's it to you calling his name but not doing what's right?
Darkness, darkness, sorrow, gloom. What's it to you?
Still talking to the crowds. See, his mother and his brother stood outside seeking to speak with him. And one said to him, see, your mother and your brothers are standing outside seeking to speak with you. But he answering said to the one who spoke to him, who is my mother and who are my brothers? And having stretched out his hand toward his taught ones, he said, see, my mother and my brothers. For whoever does the desire of my Father who is in the heavens is my brother and sister and mother. I understand. That is quite unfortunate that you don't understand. But what's more unfortunate is you don't want a man. I'm telling you that your life's dependent on it, and you'd rather continue in the sin you learning from the land. It saddens me that you can't see. Maybe your heart ain't where it should be. Returning to Allahik. You see all of his words, the blessing and curses come back into my heart. Now I'm returning with all my being. So I'm obliged to turn back, me and my children, and to despise and unlearn that thing that we dealing. But unfortunately your eyes haven't opened, and since nothing will soak in, this is the fork in the road. And Ahuti, I pray one day you understand this. I love you cause I love him and guard his commands. It's the way it's supposed to be. If it was 2000 BC, we all be under the bands.
Who's my mother? Who's my sister? Who's my brother? Who's my uncle? Who's my aunt? Who's my cousin? Who's the one that's doing the will of my Father? And who's the one that's seeking His face till they find Him? Who's my mother? Who's my sister? Who's my brother? Who's my uncle? Who's my aunt? Who's my cousin? Who's the one that's doing the will of my Father? And who's the one that's seeking His face till they find Him?
This is a tough one because so many loved ones don't care at all or just don't care enough. Some must have missed it, or maybe they just don't get it, or maybe they don't believe, thinking it's twisted cause it's different. Pops, why can't you see it? See, you change immediately if you truly believe in heed. Go breathe. We're not guaranteed a breath, so to suggest you're taking one step reflects your lack of fear and respect. Every time you open your eyes, it's a chance to do what's right and esteem His name and be the light. My brothers are the ones who's guarding His word, and my brothers are the ones whose vision ain't blurred, and my brothers seek righteousness for a living. 200-hour weeks studying His word, teaching the children, making zeets for the babies. We turn into Elohim while the world thinking we crazy.
Who's my mother? Who's my sister? Who's my brother? Who's my uncle? Who's my aunt? Who's my cousin? Who's the one that's doing the will of my Father? And who's the one that's seeking His face till they find Him? Who's my mother? Who's my sister? Who's my brother? Who's my uncle? Who's my aunt? Who's my cousin? Who's the one that's doing the will of my Father? And who's the one that's seeking His face till they find Him? Who's my mother? Who's my sister? Who's my brother? Who's my uncle? Who's my aunt? Who's my cousin? Who's the one that's doing the will of my Father? And who's the one that's seeking His face till they find Him? Who's my mother? Who's my sister? Who's my brother? Who's my uncle? Who's my aunt? Who's my cousin? Who's the one that's doing the will of my Father? And who's the one that's seeking His face till they find Him?
I would drop everything for YAHUAH. I'll stop a bullet train for YAHUAH. I'll climb to the top of a summit and fly. I would do anything for YAHUAH. There's not anything that is like Him. There's not a single word to describe Him. No entomology or hypothesis or psychology. Philosophies can't even define Him. Not a better one around to confide in. There's not another one I would die in. I am riding, flying on wings of the eagles. I'm living my life here inside Him. There ain't a bigger thing than YAHUAH. Every single living thing's from YAHUAH. There ain't a single thing that is truer. My owl, my master, my ruler. King of the living and the dead, His written is the bread. Every breath and every step begins in His head and it ends in His head. So no room for make believe in this thing. No need to hide your deeds that are seen. Shama Yashar'AL, He feels everything and anything you ever seen in your dreams. There's no visions or missions, intentions that go in against Him. He's omniscient, existing from beginning. All wisdom is with Him. Man, I'm trying to seek the face of YAHUAH, trying to run a really good race for YAHUAH, trying to enter the presence and kneel in the essence. I just want to taste of YAHUAH.
I'm glued to YAHUAH, 'cause there's nothing truer to run to Yahushua. God is for YAHUAH. I'm glued to YAHUAH. There is nothing truer to run to Yahushua.
Who else speaks things into existence? Who else thinks things into fruition? Keep it balanced with precision and always making good decisions. There's none other than my YAHUAH. None other can but YAHUAH. Baruch haba bashama, baraka at YAHUAH. Nothing can stop YAHUAH. Don't need nada, but I got YAHUAH. All I need is one shot and one spot, and that's right by Yahushua. I'm my like YAHUAH. I do what I do for YAHUAH. My strong walk, my zakar, my alak, my tubra. I'm always trying to do a little more though, knowing I ain't guaranteed here tomorrow. This time we living in here is borrowed, so go and check your flesh at the door, bro. I don't need no stress from the war, bro. Done been through the mess all before, bro. The ruach is winning over here, so don't bring your vest or your cardio. YAHUAH Hosea from the drama. Yahushua remind us what the time was. Teaches your language, your mind, cause trying to use minds on what's the time for. I do what I do for my father. Doing anything less is a problem. Everything is for his esteem, so anything else won't bother.
I'm blue to Yahuwah, cause there's nothing truer. To Yahushua, do this for Yahuwah. I'm blue to Yahuwah, there is nothing truer. To Yahushua.
Man, it's looking bad here. When this happened, man, Yahushua, when you coming back? How'd it get so bad? Delusion of freedom is leaving and it's getting away so fast. Conclusions creeping up on this place and it's coming in with a blast. How we become so despicable, bunch of selfish individuals. At best we just miserable rats, and it makes me sad. What kind of place think it's okay to take kids from their dad? Steal from the poor and get to the bad, it's sick where we at. This world's very contrary, opposite and anthem of what Yahuwah handed them. They trampling his planet and they damaging the land and invading the skies with cancer and not giving us a chance. But when Yahuwah called, I answered him. I'm fearing him on the mountain, declaring his good news to those that's hearing him. He's sealing them, the wicked he's revealing them, the sickness he is healing them. Yes, he is very real, and when you believe you will hear from him. He's calling those that seeking him with all they being in, hearing and receiving him in truth, love and believing him. I'm needing him
On his name, Yahuwah, and he'll draw you to Yahushua. Call his name, call his name, call his name.
Please come, yo, Yahushua, we need you. Please come and get your people. We are but just a remnant that's strengthened by what you speak to us. We need you to breathe in us, keep feeding us, keep leading us and teaching us, increasing us until the day we be with you. It's dark folks here ain't seeing ya. Most think that they believe in ya, don't see that they deceiving. Just continue in that heathen stuff. But I'ma keep speaking cause there's only just one truth. All those doctrines, denominations are all so far from you. You knew it's all from the womb. I'll seek you until the tomb, hoping that you coming soon. The one reason ain't doom and gloom, but in this darkness we need your light to guide our path and be our light. Guide my words and what I write so we don't Proverb 11:9. Yahuwah, go ahead, use me. Whatever your plan, include me. There's nothing I'd rather be doing. There's nothing else worth pursuing. I'll be seeking your face all the way until the day I'm in your presence. When the heavens come to this place and you stay, I pray.
Call on his name, Yahuwah, and he'll draw you to Yahushua. Call his name, call his name, call his name.
at ease, kick up your feet, no need to think, man. Your steak is light, it's played your sight, so you ain't seeing. Your crib's cozy, whip is rolling, best grateful sleeping. Your life's a beach, you guys at ease, trouble don't reach them. Got your degrees and your career field is leading. You off the weekends, you American dreaming. Your fence is picket, 4-bedroom crib with 2 kids in. Your fridge is filled with all these things that you ain't even needing. Everything's convenient, no rules for your kids, you lenient. Disasters, you don't see them, cause the bubble you be in. Your bills are up to date, you get paid every 2 weeks, and your life is really great, you feel safe with his policemen. Your path is broad, there's nothing hard, man, there are no seasons. No death, disease, or hectic things, every day is spring, man. Everything is pleasing when your steak's barely a tree limb, and it's perfectly seasoned, not for hanging, but for eating, that's me, man.
Talk a good game, but not bothering to deny themselves, take up their stakes and then follow him. The days of peace and summer breeze is not what he got for them, cause he said that I'm poor, oppressed people here will walk with him. All you should be happy, go lucky people and out with him, cause he regards the spirit that's bruised in the ruach in him. He regards the struggle, not loving this life that's costing him. It's trustworthy, you don't care once this world could offer him.
Into the narrow, cause the broad leads to destruction. The way is hard, you may be scarred, but life is what you must win. Your beliefs deceiving, what they're teaching is misleading. Take up your stake for heaven's sakes, don't mean just on the weekend. Man, you don't know him, yo, because he said woe to those at ease who like to roll their boats gently down the streams. He regards the bruised and the beat, the prostrated and defeat, not the great ones standing on their feet. They're slaves to their hands, cause they're trusting in man, but their graves where they stand, but their praise in this land. You're amazed at the damned, but you've strayed from his hand, and they refuse to understand or stay in his plan, and that's wicked. They witches doing all that they did and disgracing his name, but still saying that they are different. You Sadducees and Pharisees are a plague and a disease, because your number one concern is doing all that they can see.
They all talk a good game, but not bothering to deny themselves, take up their stakes and then follow him. The days of peace and summer breeze is not what he got for them, cause he said that the poor oppressed people here will walk with him. All you should be happy, go lucky people and out with him, cause he regards the spirit that's bruised in the ruach.